Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new video. So what we're going to do today and kind of going forward, I went on ahead and decided I think it's time now. It's starting to cool off in my area now, and I think it's time to go ahead and get started to get ready to get tuned up for this E85. So we're about to go ahead and get this series started. So what does that mean? It means it's time to go ahead and start installing some of these parts that I got. So for me, I kind of want to start off with the fuel pump. All right, so I know, man, there's like hundreds of videos where people have installed the fuel pumps on the WRX and all that stuff. But you know what y'all haven't seen? You haven't seen me install one of these things on the car, because I haven't, I've installed fuel pumps before, but not in the Subaru. So this is going to be interesting to see how this goes. So it should be pretty much plug and play, but we're gonna find out when we start ripping stuff out. Now, the reason why I kind of wanted to start there is because, if I have any issues with the fuel pump while I'm installing the other things, while I'm, driving the car and stuff like that, it'd be best for me to kind of figure those things out now and not when it's on the dyno. So that's the reason why I'm kind of gonna start there. So I guess there's nothing else more to say than let's go ahead and start disassembling everything, and let's get that fuel pump out of the car. Okay, so this is what we got. So I got, like I told you guys, got the AEM fuel pump. So we got this thing. We're gonna put this bad boy in there, and it comes with the connector. Now for me, when I ordered this thing, at the time when I ordered it, I was thinking that I was gonna have to order that little the other little kit that has this little connector on there, but it looks like it already comes with it. So I got that. And it comes with two O-rings. It comes with a little attachment to connect this onto the fuel pump right there, and it locks it on there. So that's kind of what we got going on right there. So all we got to do now is we got to get in the car and let's work on getting this thing uninstalled or go take the stock pump out. All right. So the first thing we need to do is we're going to need to take out the back seat down here. So now, there are two clips. There's one right here. So you reach right under here. I don't know if I can get you guys a good look at this thing, but I'll show you guys whenever I get it out, because it's kind of hard, it's covered. But it's right here, and what you do is you pull it forward and it releases the seat. And now I gotta go do the same thing on the other side here. Or maybe I should have did the other side first. All right, so now, so you guys can see. So connector right there. So let me get over here and try and disconnect this thing without actually being on it. That's right here. Pull it forward and that should come up. Do the same thing on the driver's side, and then the seat comes up. All right, so now just a matter of just pulling this thing up and out. Get the seat belts out. And then our seat is free. Now let me go and put this somewhere. All right, y'all. So got the seat removed. I gotta tell y'all, man, the hardest thing for me right now is like trying to set this camera up, because like I say, it's much bigger than a GoPro. So golly. But anyway, back to the install. So all we got to do now, the actual gas pump, the pump and everything is on the passenger side in the rear. So we got these 4 Phillips screwdrivers we got to get off here. So let's take these off. All right, we got those off, so let's peel this guy off of here. Now, we're to this point, so now all we have to do is we have to disconnect this connector right here that's connected to this little cover plate. There we go. Then we can set this guy over to the side here. And now I don't really want this to get anything on it, so I'm gonna try to carefully pull off this little foam joint, because it's actually trapped underneath these little parts where the Phillips screwdrivers went. Okay, so now already, me looking in here, it looks different than any other video that I have seen on replacing one of these fuel pumps. I'm just gonna have to tear this off of here, dude, because I don't really want it to get filled with gasoline when I'm putting it back on here, because then that's gonna wind up stinking inside the car and I'm gonna be smelling it, and I don't want to be smelling it. So pull that out. All right, so that went like that. So I'm gonna put this over to the side exactly the way it should go back into the car. All right, so now we have our fuel lines. Now, what I've seen on the other ones, that there were actually 3 fuel lines on any of the other videos that I've seen, and my car only has 2. So it has these 2 lines right here. So all we got to do really is just pry these little things up and pull them out of here. So I'm gonna put this underneath here, catch any fuel. We're going to pry this little thing up right here. All right, pull that straight up. And then at that point, I should be able to pop this off of here. And there it is. A little bit of fuel coming out of there, but not too bad. Now let me get this other side here. I should be able to wash that off of there. So let me, like I said, I just put this scribe right underneath there like that there. There we go. And then get my rag underneath here. Ooh, got a little fuel out of there. All right. Okay, I got my fuel lines off. So let me try and cover them up with a rag because they still spilling fuel everywhere. Let me wrap them up and kind of tuck them back there like so. Clean off my little area right here, and then at that point we'll just need to this one's going to go over here out of the way. Now we got to take off our 8mm bolts, so let's get started on that. I need I already lost a bolt. All right, y'all. So unfortunately, I dropped one of the nuts back there. It came off. I should have been more careful. So I have to either find that thing. I try to put a magnet back here to see if I can get it, but I think it fell down into that little plastic pan at the bottom there. So what I'm probably gonna wind up having to do is I'm gonna have to go to the store and see if I can find me something that's exactly like this and put it in there, unfortunately. So learn from my mistake, man. If you use a power tool, let the nut stay on there. Don't try and take it off of there. But I got all of these off of here. So now let's take this little metal part off here. Now there is a little areas with little detent holes. So let me grab this off the screws here. Now the only thing I have to do is pull this thing straight up out of here. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Rubber seal is gonna have to come on up out of there as well. There we go. Oh, shoot. Now you got to be careful of your float when you're pulling this thing out of here. And then there we go. Our fuel pump is out. So I don't have to worry about any other mishaps. Put a rag over this. All right, so now a couple of things we got to do here now that we got this thing out. Like this whole assembly looks different than any other one I've seen online, but we got to disconnect these two connectors that are right here. You got this this blue and gray one, which is the one that's on the gray connector, which is on the left there. That has to come out. I think that's what goes to the actual fuel pump itself. And then this goes to the other one is the black and red one goes to the float that lets you know how much fuel you have. So let's disconnect those real quick. All right, not too bad. Now, right here is where you have this little snap ring, which we got to pull out of there. So let me compress this thing down so that I can pull it out of there. So let's grab my needle nose and we'll, there we go. Got him out of there. Don't lose that like I lost that nut earlier. But now let's see. Oh, it's tangled in here. So these cables are on this little hook here. So you need to take them off of this hook. You see that little hook right there? You got to take that out of there. So let's pull those out of there so that yes, we can. These little connectors right here, it's like 1 and 2. Is there a third one? Doesn't look like it. See, it's these two connectors right here. This and this should allow us to remove this bottom section here. Is it? Oh, it's one right here. Look at that. It's one right here too. That's there and there. Now we should be able to take that off of there. Yep, there we go. So this right here needs to come off of the bottom there. There's a number of things that's got to come off of this thing. That and that can come down because that's all part of this too. Jesus. So let me work on getting this off here, because really what has to come off is these two clips, this clip, and this clip over here on the back side. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 clips that you got to release in order to get the pump out of there. I think that's it. And there we go. Okay. So now look like it's 2 clips that's holding this down as well. So now we can get that out of there. So now we actually have the fuel pump off, and there is an O-ring in there, which I need to get out of there. All right. So I got all of that off of there. So here's the little spacer that's on there. You can see the comparison to these two. So let me take the connector off of here. Put this back on there. Here's the little connector. Let's disconnect that. And now we got the pump completely off of here. All right, so let me tell you guys what we got here. So now, like I said, mine, of course, as always in the 2020s, man, is way different. So my fuel pump assembly is way different than anybody else's, so that I've seen. So what it's looking like, see, this is the stock one, right? And if you look at this right here, the body is way longer. So that means I'm not going to be able to utilize this little bottom piece right here. Can't use this, which means I still need to use this because I have to hold this little part on right here. I can't remember what this is called. It's like a regulator or something like that. But I'm gonna have to cut this off so I can snap it into here, and this is just gonna have to slide in there free. And then when I connect it back in, the bottom part, this bottom piece should be able to keep this thing in place, and it should be fine. But we're gonna find out. All right, my battery died on me. So like I was saying, it's gonna take quite a bit of some modification here. So this is the O-ring that came out of there. Is this gonna fit around this thing? Yeah, it will. Huh. So I might use the stock O-ring that comes with this thing. And we're gonna have to use this spacer, reutilize this spacer. That's gonna go on there, and then that right there, just like that. So I'm gonna leave that on there like that. Now, it does, with how my setup is, it does require you to do some splicing. But what I did is I ordered, it's a WRX kit that you can get to install your fuel pump, you know, for your Subaru, and it makes it to where you don't have to cut any wires. It already comes with a pre-set up kit. So it has the same wire, but it has the stock connector on there. So I don't really have to cut any wires. So I can just leave that just like it is. And then we can use this just like that. And now all I got to do then is just plug this into here. Then that's good to go. And then I can just fish this through there. And then I'm good to go on that end. So the main thing that I'm going to need to do right now is I'm going to need to cut this little piece off of there. Cut it off. I can snap it on here, which it'll hold this on, because I don't want this to just be hanging in there and then it falls out. So cut that. If I have to go back to stock, I can always just plug this in there and this just to be separate. So I'm just going to cut that off. That way then I can snap this back in, and at that point we're going to lube this up, throw this in there, fish it through, and then we'll put on the sock. And then after we put the sock on there, we should be good to go. And then I can just plug it in here. And what's going to hold the fuel pump in place is going to be this bottom pan right here. All right, now, so let's hope I didn't just mess this thing up. So let's go ahead and snap this on here and get him in place. Okay, so that works. That's good. So now the only other thing we got to do, because this WRX kit, it does come with new O-rings, and it comes with 3 of them. So I am going to use this O-ring on here. So I'm going to take this stock one off and put it back on the stock pump. Comes with some little lube on here. So I'm going to put a little bit of this lube on here. Put that on there. Put a little lube on this O-ring. And then we're going to slide it inside of here. So we're going to take this and push that through. And then from there, we'll slide in our pump and our cable. That's all in there. Then the next thing we're going to have to do here is put on our fuel sock. So that's going to go just like that there. So we're going to push him on there. All right. And this does kind of cover up that a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to just fold that in just like that there, so that it doesn't obstruct this little this orifice right here. And then from there, I need to put the retaining clip on the fuel sock, if I can find out where the heck it went to. Oh, there it is. So let me get that on there. Hopefully I'm in frame here. Put this right there. And I use my flathead here. You know what? Let me pull this back out of here. Yeah, let's pull this back out of here. And let's fit this on here before we put this in there. All right. I finally got it on there, man. I had to use a 1/4 inch wrench to kind of get it started on there. And then I used the flathead to push it on there the rest of the way. So now we can go back to lubricating this thing again. Make sure we good. And then we run this guy through here. And then there we go. And then, like I told you, we're gonna fold this section right here so we don't obstruct that. And at this point, we can start piecing this thing back together. So now we can snap this back into here and here. We're looking right there, we're looking good. Okay. Okay, so now we are in there. I don't know, man. This thing seems like it's really pushing the crap out of the bottom of this thing. Line up and go back down in the hole there. There we go. And you can snap that back in there. All right. So now we got all of that back. And then we got to put this back on there. There we go. All right. So this still scrunches. We got that to fit in there. Now my concern with this is the fact of how much this is pushing down into this little bowl here. So hopefully we're good. We about to find out. So let's put our wires back where they came from. Running through this little grommet right here. And then let's plug our connectors back in. The black one goes on the right. And then our new one to our new fuel pump goes here. So I'm gonna run it the way they had it ran in here before from stock. All right. All right, we got that connector in. Let's loop our cables in this little hanger right here like it was already. All right. So there we go. All back in. Scrunching like it should. So that goes there. Okay. So at this point, we should be ready to put this thing back in. So let's get over to the car and then let's put this thing back in. All right, y'all. Let me put this thing back in here. And I kind of want to test it out. And then at that point, I'm gonna see if I can go and find me. I got to go to like Ace Hardware somewhere and see if I can find a replacement nut. All right. So now I just got to make sure all of this stuff lines up like it's supposed to. This is supposed to sit this way. So let me get the grommet in there first. All right, so now before I go and see about finding another connector, another bolt, another nut, I mean, let me make my connections, redo my connections here. Boom. And we're gonna get this thing a test. All right, it's there. All right, and at this point, all we got to do is connect this thing right here up, and we should be good to go. should be in business now. So I'm just gonna roughly put this thing together. And then let's go start this thing up and see if it'll start. All right, here we go now. The moment of truth. See if I can hear it kick on. Yep, well, I heard it. So let's see. Looks like we're working just fine. No leaks. I can definitely hear that bad boy come on. So we might be good. So now it's just gonna be a matter of just testing it and driving at the same time. So we'll see. So let me go ahead and button this thing all the way up. But first I need to go to the store and see if I can find some replacement, a replacement nut for the one I just lost. All right, here y'all. So I guess that's gonna wrap up this this install. Is it a hard install? No, it's not a hard install. It's just for this particular one. As always, whenever we do anything and I do an install and I'm thinking it's gonna look like somebody else's install to make it a little easier on me. No, it's not. In every situation I did an install, my 2020 WRX has always been different than everybody else's. So am I changing the world with me installing the fuel pump and doing something that nobody else did? No, but you are seeing a difference in between somebody else's install and if you have a 2020 or if you have a fuel pump hanger assembly like the one I have, you'll know you'll have to do some modification to it in order to make that thing work. So that's what I got. So and anyway, you could do this sort of stuff yourselves, man. Don't cut yourself short, man. You guys can do these installs yourself, man. It just takes a little bit of time, may take you a little bit longer. If I didn't have to record this, it probably would have took me no longer than maybe an hour, probably less than that. But try and do it yourselves, man. Like for me, my whole thing is, you know, be your own warranty. I don't pay for extra warranty because if anybody's gonna fix it, it's gonna be me. At least I trust my work. I know I'm gonna do it right. So that's the reason why I'm the way I am when it comes to installing stuff and DIY. So take a chance. You guys can do it. You saw what I did. I had to modify it a little bit to put that larger fuel pump on there, which was just cutting the bracket off, putting it in there. It's a little hard putting it in there. It didn't snap in all the way, but it's because the housing on that fuel pump, the AEM fuel pump, is way longer than the stock one. So, you know, that is a problem, but I just took a test drive on it. It wasn't too bad. It's pretty good. I'm gonna drive it over the next few weeks or whatever as I'm doing other installs and just to see how it performs. But other than that, man, this is something you guys can get it done, man. You know, I'll link everything that I got in the description that helped me get this thing done like I did. And be careful when you're taking the bolts out so you don't drop one underneath inside the little, it's probably in that little plastic pan down underneath the car. I might find it another day, but I was able to go to Ace, find a different nut to put on there. Good to go. Not a problem. Just a little extra step that I had to take. But you guys can do it. Appreciate y'all if y'all made it this far in the video, because I'm just sitting up here babbling on, man. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, hit all so you get notified when I put out a video. And till that next video, fam, peace.